Hey, it's Caleb Christensen with the Unlimited Leads podcast brought to you by Funnel Flow Marketing. We have Carson Brown from Surge Digital talking about how you can use SEO to create an unlimited stream of affluent leads into your financial services or home services business using SEO. Welcome to the podcast, Carson.
Thank you, Caleb. A pleasure to be here.
All right, Carson. So this will be a short but impactful interview, and I want everyone who listens to this to really walk away with the ability to make an informed decision if SEO is right for them. So before we get into that, can you kind of just explain on the high level what SEO is in like third grader English so I can understand, because I don't deal in the SEO world?
Yes, absolutely. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And in our case, our job is to get your website and your business to show up on Google, which is in this instance, our search engine. So our job is the organic process of ranking a website to the top of Google without having to pay any ads and any ad spend, simply just essentially optimizing it in a way that Google prefers, so they start to rank it higher for more people to be able to find you.
Got it. And how long does this process take?
Search engine optimization, it's funny because it's quite hard to give people an exact estimate. Hey, this day on this time at 4:36 p.m., your rankings will increase and you'll start to get a bunch of leads. But what I like to tell people is I can sleep soundly at night knowing that in 6 to 12 months, you're going to see the fruits of the SEO that we're doing.
So that's funny you said fruits, because SEO is an organic method, right? So really you're planting a farm, right? You're putting seeds in the ground. You're going to water it, you're going to nurture it, and then that will produce a harvest in 6 to 12 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, why do you, with that in mind, like that makes total sense. Why is it hard for business owners to invest in SEO? Why is there this mental block? Because 6 months is going to come and go whether we invest in some sort of long-term growth strategy or not.
That's a great question. I get this question a lot. And I think one of the biggest things is it's really, if you don't know what SEO is and you're paying a monthly recurring bill to a company that is telling you they're doing one thing, but you can't really verify what they're doing essentially. I mean, you can take their word for it. You can look at the reports and say, oh, they're working on my SEO. And in 6 months to 12 months, I'm going to see a return on investment. You're basically, all right, I'm going to thwart 6 months of investment plus here in hopes that this turns around. So I think the length that it takes for you to actually get the leads and the results is the biggest bottleneck for people signing up. And so that's why I like to be realistic about the client results that we have. And when you compare that to any other stream of leads, the return on investment is through the roof because our management fee won't change. But over time, you're going to get more and more leads every single month. So the cost per that individual lead will go down as the amount of people that are finding you starts to rise.
So it's kind of like a graph that has an inflection point.
Exactly. We have a graph that looks exactly like that.
You are here. You will be here if you keep paying me, right? Don't pull the plug now.
Exactly. Yeah.
How did you get into this? Like, what is your origin story? How did you get into digital marketing? And there's a lot of different things you can do in digital marketing: Facebook ads, funnels, websites, etc. What about SEO really stood out to you?
Such a great question. I originally started running Facebook ads for realtors, and I wasn't running the ads myself. Let me rephrase that. I was selling a product that involved lead generation through Facebook and a CRM system where they could manage your leads. It was a great bundle package. Um, and that was that was my entire knowledge of digital marketing, was running Facebook ads to get leads. I didn't understand the business side of doing lead generation. I was so novice to the whole industry that for a while I felt like I was selling something I really wasn't certain on. And over time, so I did that for about a year, and then I branched off and I started working with my business partner, who's actually my brother, and his big thing was SEO. Now, I won't get into the two side by side differences, but I will say the my knowledge of digital marketing has really evolved to the point of looking at it from, here's this new kid who is just selling this product that he's been told is really good because it gets people leads, and like literally that was where my knowledge ended, to now as a business owner I'm saying, oh, there's multiple streams to pull leads in. You can go to networking events and shake people's hands, and those are leads. You can God forbid, hand out flyers. You can do SEO. You can run Facebook ads. And these are all just streams to put yourself in front of people who are in market for your services. So I'm not trying to essentially re-educate people on that, but it was my understanding of what I was actually doing that really helped me understand the value behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, so I hope
No,
I'm
it's fine. Like you
yeah,
you were
staying within the
involved
lines of
on
your question.
you were involved in more of the, like a Facebook ad, you can literally get a lead the next day, right? But
Yes, for sure.
you're burning jet fuel, and like if you want more results, you got to put more jet fuel in, right? And so there's definitely a burn element. So you're involved with, and correct me if I'm wrong, like this is kind of how I'm hearing your story. You were involved with that, but then your brother's talking to you about SEO, and then as you kind of saw it from both angles, you're like, okay, there's a lot of different ways that you can grow your business. Yeah, Facebook ads work. Yeah, SEO works. But your temperament, what you were kind of just naturally interested in and gravitated towards, at the end of the day, was SEO. Is that correct?
What was the stream of leads that my business partner, who was managing the fulfillment, was most confident in, that he could provide the best service through that medium?
Mm-hmm.
So it actually just happened to be that's what and why we landed on SEO. But I know plenty of people that run Facebook ads for our industry as well, and they get great results. So it's definitely it's where we landed. And I had to re-educate myself on this. I'm like, so you're telling me I got to talk to somebody and tell them they're going to invest now and get results later? So it's a much harder thing to do, but I really lean on, every time I'm in an opportunity to speak to somebody about the service, how over time it produces the best ROI that I've seen. And that's something that every business owner can resonate with. And I think that's a good reason as to why SEO isn't for everybody right off the bat. Maybe you should do Facebook ads right now so you can start pulling leads in, and then using some of those funds and investing to SEO because you've been educated on the long-term vision of SEO, which is the organic
You know what's
process.
interesting? You know what's interesting, and maybe you can work this into your sales process, is that literally every marketing stream has that inflection point. Most of the campaigns I've run on Facebook that have had any sort of impact long term have this trial and error phase until the campaign matures and really takes off. And so it takes time. So like, yeah, Facebook ads can be instant, but not necessarily. Like, you're getting data back. And the same thing with SEO. I imagine you're also getting data back pretty quickly. It's not necessarily translating into sales overnight. But once again, Facebook ads, like, just because you're getting leads doesn't mean you're making sales, right? So, dollar for dollar, they both produce results. They both take time to dial in and work. And it's not really, the discussion here is not, should you do SEO or Facebook ads? It's like, what makes sense for you right now? What stage of business are you in? And um, how big do you want to grow this thing? Because in my opinion, to really get past seven figures in any business, you need one solid traffic stream that you really dial in and own, maximize. And you need one really solid offer, aka one really solid funnel, right? So you just need one and one, and you need to maximize the most of them. And so if you have too many lines in the water, you can kind of dilute your budget. You can dilute your focus. But if you have the budget and the time, like the more traffic streams you can push into your offers, let's say you're running SEO and Facebook, the faster you can scale your business to seven figures and beyond. Would you agree with that?
Very much. Yeah, I've heard it from people that have hit seven-figure run rate. I mean, we're not there yet, but that's what I've been told, because it's the least barrier of resistance. You don't have to spend so much energy thinking about all these different things and give yourself so much to worry about. There's so much to learn within one of these specific avenues alone, and mastering that. How do you it's one thing to own a business and run Facebook ads yourself or with someone who's fairly new and not really understand why somebody signs up. And it's another thing, 6 months down the line, let's restart our Facebook ad campaign with someone who's really good at what they do, and they understand the process that a lead goes through from I'm scrolling on Facebook to I'm finding you on Facebook, and then I'm being nurtured and warmed up. I'm seeing the authority that you are and you bring with your company, and I'm being pre-sold before I even get to call you. That's an entirely different process for a lead, and that's why that could be the make or break as your Facebook ads actually working. It's the time that you've taken to actually understand them. So I totally resonate with your point.
So my focus for this podcast is predominantly financial advisors, but really any appointment-based business. So you sell through an appointment, usually a one-on-one sale, and your ideal client is an affluent individual or a high net worth individual. So if you're a home service provider, it would be, how do I get homeowners in a consultative sale, whether it's a face-to-face appointment on their driveway or a Zoom consultation to maybe install solar, right? Or put a pool in. So, high income, high net worth, these are luxury purchases. Maybe it's add the, what do they call those? Those little houses, you put the mother-in-law house on the back, right? Like those are not necessary, right? Those are luxury purchases. Or the financial advisor who's looking to help an affluent individual with their wealth planning, with their strategic tax planning. So with that in mind, so that's kind of the audience. How can SEO work? Like, what would you tell a financial advisor to do in regards to SEO? Like, what would be your prescription for them?
Oh man, it's such a good question. And I thought about this before we jumped on today. How can I bring SEO value to a financial advisor? Because there's levels to SEO, and there's actually, it's funny enough, like without going too deep into the weeds, we like to break SEO into two pieces. You have your website SEO, and you have your Google My Business SEO, which is kind of local SEO. A Google My Business page is if you're looking for restaurants near me and you get that like little map section on your search result that has the directions and the reviews and the telephone number. That's a perfect spot for a financial advisor to show up and start becoming a local authority in their area. One thing that separates you from your competitors, or your competitor getting the phone call and you getting the phone call in that Google Maps section, is the amount of reviews that you're getting. Reviews have a direct relationship with how much or how many people can find that Google business page. Google wants to showcase someone that has authority in their market. And so for a financial advisor who wants to get started with SEO, the least barrier of entry is to get reviews. Get reviews from people who would recommend you, or people who recommend you. Get them to write you a Google review and include your name and potentially what you do as well. There's something to be said about having specific keywords in your reviews. I won't say it's hyper necessary, but if you can have 20 reviews and your competitor has 3, and you live in the same area, and you happen to be an affluent business owner, and you type in financial advisors near me because you just got burned by your last one, and the difference on the screen is this guy who has 50 reviews, they're all 5-star, you read them, they're well thought out, and this is like, he's clearly an authority compared to the other 2 options that have 3 reviews or 7 reviews. You start to stand out. It's a no-brainer that you have authority, and you can at least get that call or that appointment. That's definitely my recommendation for a financial advisor to get started with their SEO, because not many are doing it. I looked at financial advisors near me before I got on this call, and the top 3 have 0 reviews.
Wow.
Like, none of them have reviews.
So you're going to start. Say that again. Say that again. This will be a YouTube short. Say it again.
Yeah. For financial advisors, if you're looking to do SEO on your own, you don't need to hire anybody for this. You need to get more reviews. I just did a Google search for my local area. I'm just south of a metro city of Charlotte. I looked up financial advisors near me. The 3 options that I got have 0 reviews. So if you got 1 review, you're already standing out. So that's a huge emphasis that I have for the clients that I work with. Reviews have a direct relationship to the amount of calls that you can get from your Google My Business page.
Wow, that's awesome. I think we could end the podcast there and it'd be super valuable. Not that we're going to, but hearing that, okay. Because of Zoom and the internet, the good thing is you can sell to everyone. The bad thing is you forget that you can literally sell next door, right? And so everyone is so focused. My clients are, even I am. All right, I feel convicted hearing you say that. I'm like, man, I have a Google My Business I haven't touched in a year. Stupid Caleb, right? And so we're so focused on attracting the world into our products and services that we forget that with just a little bit of work, we could be like a community leader, right? Is that essentially what you're saying?
Celebrity. A local celebrity. I live in a neighborhood here. And so everyone, if I was a financial advisor, everyone in this neighborhood is a potential client. And there's people in here that have they may have money in their bank account or wherever that is just waiting for someone to come in and manage. And let's say your local network, you know people, but if they ever try to Google you, you're sort of nowhere to be found. You can create this Google My Business page. It has your name, it has the firm you work for, and it has, all of a sudden, you're starting to get a bunch of reviews. Google is recognizing this, and they want to show you above your competitors who aren't getting reviews, and their Google My Business page is collecting dust. Next thing you know, word gets around that you're a financial advisor and someone does a Google search for you. You're now popping up just because you put a little bit of work into getting reviews. I have no problem with, personally, and I mean, I don't think Google does as well. A recommendation is a recommendation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a client of yours. It can be someone who believes that you're a good business owner, you have good values, and they trust you enough to write you a Google review. Like, this isn't everybody you meet. This is a select few amount of people. Go to the people that you think would write you a solid review because they know what you do and that they know you're good at it. And you can start to build up reviews. Like I said, there's 0 reviews for people in my local market. My own brother who lives near me is a financial advisor. I'm going to get on him about this.
Wow, this is great. So phase 1, get your house in order, get your local presence. I love that. Become a local celebrity. You know what would be a cool little joint project is if we create a little mini course that we could actually sell called the Local Celebrity Starter Pack or something like that. And it's all about maximizing just the low-hanging fruit of Google My Business. Are you down for that?
I'm definitely down for that. There's tons of creative ways to get reviews.
Awesome. All right. So more to come on that. So the second phase, I've gotten my house in order. I'm a financial planner. I do wealth management. Maybe I do tax planning, whatever. What's the next step? What does a more long-term SEO strategy look like for me?
Great question. I think one of the benefits of being a financial advisor with a firm that you trust and obviously work under is you can leverage their website. I think that gives a lot of credibility, and that most of the time larger firms are they're paying for SEO or they have enough search volume. Like, for example, Edward Jones. It's one of the few firms that I know exists, so I apologize for my ignorance. Their website's going to have a lot of weight. And I think if you're part of that firm, you get to carry some of that weight. Let's say you own your own firm. If you want to show up on Google when someone searches for a financial advisor in, like, let's say your metro area, let's use Charlotte, North Carolina for this example, financial advisor Charlotte, North Carolina, if they're searching and they live all the way in Charlotte and you live all the way over here, 20 miles away, sorry, my hands are off the screen, your local SEO, the local map pack that I talked about, you're not going to be ranking that far away. So just take my word on it. This is true SEO talk here. So one thing you can do is you can capitalize on ranking your website, and that allows you to show up in the website section below that Google map pack for your firm's website can show up there. And that's a like higher level SEO play for a firm who has, depending on the area, anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 to invest every single month. In order to make that happen, it has to make sense for a financial advisor to invest in SEO. You got to look at how many searches are going on for financial advisor Charlotte, North Carolina. If there's enough to justify ranking SEO, do it. But that's why you should speak to a professional who's going to tell you the reality of what you're getting yourself into. Hey, I think there's a lot of search volume here. I think it's a big opportunity, and there's currently clients, right? Like there's currently firms like Edward Jones or whatever getting 500 people hitting their site every month looking for the keyword financial advisor near me. We can start to scoop up some of that traffic if we show up on there too. Does that help answer your question, Caleb?
No, that's great. And so let's just say the high end, they're investing $3,000 a month for their SEO. Most advisors I talk to generally, if let's say they sell some sort of whole life policy that has tax advantages, on the low end, they're going to make 10 to 15 grand per sale, right? So let's just say, for sake of numbers, each client they land equals $10,000 of attributable revenue year one. Now, a lot of policies have payouts, year over year, but let's just say, for sake of easy math, year one, each new client equals $10,000. And if we're going to invest $3,000 a month, so we have a $36,000 burn rate annually for SEO services, someone like yourself, where you're going to be making organic content, you're going to be working on the keywords, making sure that basically that everything, the environmental soup is correct, where Google is going to be like, I found the perfect advisor for this search query, number one, number two, number three, right? So even all that, like 36 grand annual, no one wants to spend that, right? But the question shouldn't be, do you want to spend that? It's, would you invest $36,000 to bring on, let's say, 10, 20, 30 new clients into your firm, right?
Yeah, that's the exact way that it should be presented. One of the things that I didn't touch on is, and it's one of the reasons I value SEO so much, it's because I look at how I make decisions, and don't get me wrong, a great ad is a great ad, and a great ad should get you to click on it because it was well crafted, and it's doing a service to whomever has the opportunity to click it. But for me, if I go to Google and I search for whatever the case may be. Let's say I'm looking for a financial advisor and there's an ad right at the top. It says sponsored in little black writing. I don't really like want to click on that. I want to find something organic. I want to find something that didn't entice me to click on it. And that's the value of SEO, because it appears organic. It appears like, oh, I did the searching myself and I found it.
It almost
So
feels more
that,
trustworthy.
yeah, it does. And the other thing I tell people is, so given that fact that as me as a consumer, I don't really click on ads. I've spoken to people that say, oh, I click on ads all the time. And I'm like, well, that stinks. That my point wasn't proven. But for me, I want that organic process. And so the other piece of that pie is the actual method that the consumer went through to get to you. They were interested in financial advisors. They wanted us to look up financial advisors. So one, they're already searching for you. And then two, now you're showing up on the screen and you're not an ad. It's the perfect pie for a good quality lead who's in market. They're searching, they find you, and then the third piece is they found your brand. So whether they found you and you're the local celebrity, or they found your firm, and now they're like calling you specifically, you have the opportunity to really come off as an authority in your space because of the way that they found you.
Yeah, I love that. And you're really talking about the customer journey. Like
Oh yeah, I
where,
love it.
yeah, so there's problem unaware, solution unaware. So these people don't know that they don't know that they need you, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
all the way on the other end of that spectrum is problem aware and solution aware, and maybe even provider shopping. So I know I have a problem. I know what the solution is. Now I just need to hire someone to do it for me, right? And so SEO scoops up the people who are on that end of the spectrum. You and I would call that a hot lead, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So super valuable. It does take investment. It does take time, but really anything worthwhile, it takes investment. Anything worthwhile takes time, and SEO is no different. So Carson, thanks so much for coming on the Unlimited Leads podcast. Where can people learn more about you and reach out to you directly?
You can find me my website through my website, which is surgedigital.marketing.
Okay.
It's not www dot, but it's like https:// surgedigital.marketing.
Yeah, we'll
And you
link
can
to it in the
find me.
show notes and wherever this interview is posted so people can check you out. Are you on socials? They could find you as well.
Yes. So LinkedIn would be a great place to connect with me. Carson Brown on LinkedIn is a blue mugshot. That would definitely be a good spot. I'm on YouTube and I post content like this at Contractor Growth Secrets on YouTube.
Cool.
And yeah, I did want to just like emphasize one thing because I think you're going to snip it and put it into a YouTube short. But we talked about the depth that SEO entails. There's the website SEO, there's the Google Maps SEO. But if I was to start and I was a financial advisor, if I want to leave you with one thing, I would say get reviews that go to your Google My Business page. And that alone is going to move the needle. You could get phone calls coming in a month because you've gotten those reviews and Google's started to showcase you. So totally recommend that.
That's great. Well, appreciate it, Carson. Thanks so much. Looking forward to making that little mini course with you. I think that'll be fun and also helpful for anybody in the Funnel Flow ecosystem and our mastermind. Listen to the post roll after this show to learn more about Funnel Flow marketing and how we can help you grow, not only with our services, but with our trusted partners, with people like Carson. Okay, thanks so much, Carson. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Caleb.